Reimagining Success, episode 174. You're listening to Reimagining Success, the podcast where we help you reimagine your future, designing a life and career beyond the 9 to 5 that allows you the freedom, flexibility and fulfillment that you've been dreaming of. I'm your host, Anna Lundberg. Now, let's get started on those dreams. Hello there, welcome back as we answer one of the Ask Anna questions on today's podcast. This is a series when I answer your questions that have come in. And the question today is, why can't I just do it alone? Why can't I just go ahead and do it myself? And I'm being a little bit facetious and a little bit cheeky because this is not actually a question I've received. I've made it up. No, I haven't quite made it up, but the truth is I don't get this question, but I probably should. And there are two reasons why I don't get this question. Why can't I just do this alone? The first one is because clients who work with me get that they can't do it alone, or they don't want to do it alone. So they don't ask that question because they know they can't. They don't want to. They've chosen to invest in me and other coaches and programs in the past. They want the community, they want the mentors, the sounding board, etc., that we'll talk about today, right? So either people get it and they know that they want to do it with somebody else, or people who then don't decide to become clients, don't even look for help, don't ask for help, either have a call and then go off and decide to do it themselves or whatever. They aren't going to ask the question either because they just go, okay, you know what, I'll just give it a go myself. I'll just work on it for now myself and see how I get on. Now, obviously, in that case, in this particular example, I haven't done my job in demonstrating the value of what I offer, or they're not ready to be coached because they're just a little bit, they haven't made the decision yet, they haven't made the commitment, and they were kind of dabbling a little bit, but now they've gone, oh, it's too scary, I'm going to pull back, and, now's not the right time, perhaps. But that's the reason I don't get the question, because either people get that they can't do it or they don't want to do it alone, or they don't, in which case, they believe that they can do it alone. So that's simple. That's how simple it is. Now, okay, to answer the question that nobody's asked me, why can't I do this alone? The thing is, we have blind spots, right? We're human. The truth is we're human. I know, shock horror. I can help other people. I can help others so easily come up with an elevator pitch, a headline for their website. In fact, work through the copy on their website. I can help to mirror back fears and insecurities. I can help to, identify an unspoken truth. I can help people shine a light on things that they didn't realize. I can help, I can support, I can guide, I can mirror, I can advise. I wear all sorts of different hats, right? Coach, mentor, etc. I can do that for others. I can't do it for myself. Now, I can do many things. And of course, I know techniques to coach myself. And I think I know I'm operating at a much higher level now than I ever did pre-coaching, all this development work I've done the last almost 10 years. But I still need help. I still need other people. I worked with a copywriter who helped me really nail the wording that I wanted. Obviously, I've worked with a web design agency now to redo the website, so graphic designer. Now, these are real experts who are good at certain concrete, tangible things, but I work with coaches, personal coaches, relationship coaches, business coaches. These are people I know can and have helped me. And last week, in fact, I shared the personal fitness example, right? We're human. However high a level we're operating at, there's always going to be new challenges. I hear again and again people say, oh my gosh, that's what I tell clients, that's what I coach clients on. And yet they didn't realize the importance, the insight for themselves until we had that conversation. The truth is we're such complex beings. There are so many nuances. And I don't know about you, but I'm quite an overthinker. I can overanalyze. It can be annoying for people. I used to, with my first boss, just kind of verbally kind of brainstorm, throw stuff out there, talk things out, think it out loud. And then he'd be amazing at just going on the whiteboard. Okay, what you're saying is 1, 2, 3. Yes. So that's the person I need, right? Someone to take my vision and creativity and ideas and analysis and then really narrow that down. Now that's scary because I want to keep options open, and I hate the idea of putting things into a box and pigeonholing myself and being too limiting and so on. I'm sure many of you feel the same. We're multi-passionate. We've got lots of ideas. We get FOMO. We don't want to miss out on so many things. But other people can see things we can't see. They can see things so much more clearly. they can elevate above and get the bird's eye view without getting every single little intricacy and so on. And of course, we are the experts on ourselves, on our businesses, on our lives, relationships, careers, etc. And yet other people can guide us, give us insights that we just cannot get ourselves. And in fact, last week we were talking about what happens when you're not taking action. And that's another reason why we can't do it alone, because we haven't. I hadn't lost that weight. I hadn't got into that regular exercise regime. I hadn't got to the shape and the size and whatever I wanted to. Okay, I had 2 babies and so on and whatever. But for a long time, I've been sort of at a higher level than I probably wanted to be. And as I said last week, I knew how to eat healthily. I know exercise and so on. And yet it's working with this online fitness coach with Hannah that I've been able to finally achieve these things that I thought were out of my reach, and it's been so much easier and again so much more fun. So excuse me, I could have done it alone maybe, but actually I think in this case, if you've tried, if you go, you know what, I'm gonna read all these free resources, and in my case I have PDFs, I have videos galore, 3 now years almost of podcast episodes, and no, actually 3 years, yes, 2021, yeah, 3 years, 200 episodes, so many workshops, resources and things. That's just me. You can absorb that, and certainly if you're at the beginning of the journey, there is so much there. And if you're super self-motivated and focused and disciplined, and maybe you almost have all the pieces in place, but there's just a couple of things, there is a lot you can achieve with that, right? And that's great. However, if you haven't been taking action, if you've been saying this again and again, every year you've had different calls with coaches. I have people, and they're like, I had one guy who said, I'm talking to 12 different coaches. Okay, if that's what you want to do. But some just talk to me. And then they say, oh no, I'm not quite ready, and so on, and pull back. And I hope, even if they haven't told me that, I hope they have found another coach to work with, and I hope they have got the help, or I hope that they have managed to do it themselves. But the truth is, again, if you haven't, clearly you can't, or you haven't been able to. So why not try something differently, right? What got you here won't get you there. Now, okay, why can't we just sort of use our people around us, right? Friends, family, they should be able to help us. The thing is, when we're making big career changes, big life changes, our immediate friends, family might not be in a place where they can support for a few different reasons. They're projecting their own fears and insecurities, right? They're hopefully well-intentioned, but they care about you. And so they're worried about you taking risks and, doing things that to them sound really scary. And are you sure about this? And the problem is, if you're not sure yourself, then you going to them with your insecurities and so on, that's only going to be reinforced, right? So it's really a vicious cycle. You'll worry them, they'll reinforce your fears, you'll feel they're not supporting you, etc. They might not know how to support you because they've never done it themselves. Most likely, you're in a comfort zone in a bubble of people who are similar to you. When I was in my corporate world, all my colleagues and friends were corporate. Now, funnily enough, I have a hugely diverse network of people, right? Online, offline. People do all sorts of different things, but I just didn't have access to that kind of community at the time. And so, yes, of course, friends and family have an important part to play. In the many people I've worked with and interviewed, often a partner or even parents might provide some financial support, certainly moral support and so on once you're a little bit further along, and they will need to be on board at some point, but that doesn't replace or avoid the need of having other kinds of support. So a few things to think about if you're thinking of, okay, I don't want to do it alone, so what kind of support might I need? Now, again, friends and family, I'm not saying turn your back on them. What I've said in the past to clients, and I say to you, is try to incubate your ideas to some extent. So don't tell anybody willy-nilly, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And then the next day you say, no, I've got this other idea and I've changed my mind. Really keep it close to your heart until you've got some clarity, and then begin to share with trusted confidants who believe in you, who you trust, and so on. Right? And of course, with people who'll be directly affected, say, for example, a spouse, older children, and so on. So by all means, confide in friends and family, and use those friends and family to cheer you on. And if nothing else, to disconnect from the stresses of, let's say, starting a business and so on. People who don't understand anything about it are great for just disconnecting and having fun. So apart from friends and family, then what else? Well, look for groups, look for communities. Obviously, the last couple of years it's been more online. There are offline groups too. I have a preference for online because it means much more flexibility and options, actually, because it means I've been able to work with people all around the world, right? Now, this idea of networking is a bit uncomfortable for many of us, but it's really not that gross. It's just about talking to people, having conversations. Hey, have you ever experienced this? Oh yeah, absolutely. It's something we all go through. This is what I found. Get that peer support, people to cheer you on, empathize, relate, celebrate with you. That's so important. So of course I have my One Step Outside Facebook group, Escaping the 9 to 5 it's called at the moment. I have, obviously, there are then paid mastermind groups. I've got my business accelerator and so on. There might be a local group. I have a few clients recently who've chosen to work with really local groups in Ireland, in New Zealand, to really have that specific, or perhaps in your particular industry, right? That's another source of support. There are many amazing groups. There's a Facebook group called Doing It for the Kids. And I say that knowing that Frankie, who runs it, is about to change it up and it's not going to be a free group anymore, but she's built an incredible community. There's Jenny, who's created the incredible Digital Nomad Girls and so on. There are some really fantastic communities. There are freelancer groups. And again, I hope my group plays an important role for, and I know it has for at least some of you. And I hope those of you who aren't there, who are active on Facebook, would consider joining. But groups, communities, that peer support is so important. Now, okay, friends, family, peers, accountability partners. They could be friends, they could be peers. In my accelerator, again, we actually set people up, if they want to, with an accountability partner. And those relationships, which has been the most amazing thing, continue beyond. So even when people leave the accelerator, they continue checking in with each other, which is just incredible. Having, let's say, a gym buddy. I remember at uni, a friend and I wanted to go running. It didn't quite work. And so let me tell you why. But we agreed to go running together. And unfortunately, she texted me in the evening saying, you know what, I'm too tired, I don't want to go. What I decided then was, okay, don't text me. Put a note on the outside of your door, because by then I will have got my running gear on. I will have come to her door. Then she says, sorry, I'm too tired, whatever. Oops, annoying, but I would have been out of my bed, right? So I would have got out of my bed and I would have gone for a run because I'm already up, dressed. So that's one way to use an accountability partner. I had another friend who told me to hide the sweets and she got really angry when I did that and I didn't give them to her. So, use this tool with caution, but a professional accountability buddy or partner can be really important. And then finally, of course, there's the mentor, the professional coach, guide, expert. It could be for some really specific topic, like, okay, I really want to work on sales. I had a colleague I was talking to the other day who said she had referred someone to an anxiety coach because they were so nervous about making sales calls. I worked very briefly with a video expert. I think she was an actress. She talked about, and in fact, saying this, I'm realizing I'm hunched over at the desk here, but she talked about, she worked with me on body language and connecting authentically with the camera because I was just really sort of glazed over and awful and uncomfortable on camera. So that was, a couple of half-hour sessions, one in person, one online. Not at all expensive, but super affordable, but well worth the money, right? So it could be something really specific. Or it could be, again, like my Business Accelerator program, for example, more a broader sweep of providing that support and training on, as you might be familiar in my group, the 5 pillars of building that business that allows you to escape the 9 to 5. So we work on personal branding and business models and lead generation and all that kind of technical stuff. But we also work a lot on our mindset and overcoming fears and defining metrics for success and work-life balance and so on. So finding the right mentors, coaches to fill the gaps, it could again be a more comprehensive program, A to Z kind of end to end, or it could be a combination, in fact. And again, several of my clients who are in those kind of broader groups will also then choose on top to work with specific experts if there's something really burning. And we also bring those in. We can bring guest speakers into the group. So friends and family, yes, absolutely. Both to cheer you on. Cheerleaders are really important and also to help you disconnect. Groups, communities, accountability partners, mentors, coaches, guides, experts, whatever you want to call them, sounding boards and so on, right? So those are some of the sources of support you might need. So again, I know I was a bit cheeky because this is not an actual question people have asked me, but if they were to ask me, I'd share, as I said at the beginning, the reason why we can't do it alone is obviously mainly we haven't been able to. There's a reason I didn't lose that weight or didn't get into that fitness program. There's a reason why you haven't done that thing that you're meaning to do. We talked about last week 3 of the reasons why that is. and have a listen to that episode as well. But having the support is one of the biggest drivers, even if it's just, not even a professional mentor coach, but even if it's just people who are checking in, supporting, believing in you. You just cannot exaggerate how important that is. So with that, I leave you. I will see you next week for another interview, I believe, and I wish you the best of luck with your goals. I hope you're not doing it alone, and I hope if you are, then you're crushing it, because I'm sure you are as well. But I appreciate that you're listening to this podcast episode, so you're obviously investing in time in your learning and in growing as an individual and as a business owner. So thank you for your trust. Thank you for your time today, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Are you ready to build and scale your business to achieve everything you dreamed of when you started, without sacrificing your personal life and your sanity to do so? The truth is that escaping the 9-to-5 is not just about saying, "I quit" to your boss, or putting up a website and ordering a set of business cards. A sustainable escape requires you to design and build a viable business that consistently brings in income and that fits in around the other priorities in your life. Join us in the Outsiders Business Accelerator to get ongoing coaching, training, and mentoring to help you create a long-term brand and business that works for you. Read more and apply at onestepoutside.com/accelerate. That's onestepoutside.com/accelerate.